Are you a fan of pro wrestling, comedy, and combat sports? Then we have the podcast for you because we cover that and much, much more.
Do you like to debate with your friends? Do we have the perfect segment for you? It's the 531, where we take any given subject, break it down to a top 5. From there, we debate it down to 3, and then into that number 1 spot.
If you want to get a hold of us, find us on our social medias. Search Working Fans Podcast on any major social media platform. And if you want to find the podcast, search for us on any major podcast platform, as well as YouTube.
Working Fans Podcast. We put in the work so you don't have to.
AJ, or Adge, as I like to call him. How we doing, brother?
Welcome back to the Working Fans Podcast, where we do the work so next time maybe we can afford shirts that actually look like they didn't come from Goodwill in our promo.
I love our promo, man.
The promo itself is great. I just realized watching it, I'm like, wow, we look homeless.
We didn't dress up for that occasion.
I'm picturing the guys on like ESPN going, hey, I just got this at Goodwill. Can I wear this for the promo today?
I think, Chevy might have been the best looking one out of that. I have to go back and see, but I think,
producer Joe looks like he literally just got out of bed.
Yeah,
I look like a fat guy that was sitting on the treadmill.
Plus,
and you were like, "Hey, you want to cut a promo?"
I caught it. I caught you like looking down. I think whatever we had, right, and you had a little more to write behind it, so it almost looks like a hostage situation too. You're like,
oh my god, who is this? Who is this Adge? They're holding him hostage.
Yes, as AJ noticed in the description, I didn't capitalize to J, so he is Adge.
Adge Strangebrew.
We're talking AEW this week. I thought it was a great episode. I thought since we didn't have a lot planned for this week, I thought this was a great way just to talk about some stuff, because AEW was a good show this week. And it starts off interesting because before this whole thing started, we were excited because Brian Kendrick was going to make his AEW debut against Jon Moxley. That didn't happen.
I'm sorry, who?
Right. I mean, we don't even want to. Yeah, right. Nobody even wants to talk about that guy.
You know what? Just to make it a little more politically correct, Chris Benoit was going to make his debut this week.
Right. So, so I don't blame AEW at all. Tony,
not even remotely.
Yeah,
you can't make comments like that, even in character. I mean, maybe if you're in like a horrible movie where you're playing like a neo-Nazi, maybe at that point you can make comments like that. But when you're cutting a shoot video or cutting a promo, maybe not such a good area to go in.
Well, I want to get to I want to get back to a little bit, because I haven't heard it. Me and you were talking a little bit off camera, and we have this idea. We haven't heard anybody talk about what we think would have been. But before we get to that, I just want to recap this match a little bit. And I want to talk about what happened afterwards and what we think was going to happen. First off, I will say I was not excited about real Yuta. No offense to him. I was like, I seen Mox drop this guy on his head. And I like Danhausen and I like Orange Cassidy enough. And we'll talk about this afterwards. They're comedy wrestlers. I'm sorry. I'm not like, you're not. I don't want them in there with Mox. But
okay. I'm going to disagree with you a little bit here.
Normally, I do want to say I did like the story of Yuta getting some offense and coming back, and they made him look strong in this than he did the last time. I do want to point that out, but go ahead.
Yeah, so here's why I'm going to disagree with you. Bryan Danielson comes out, and when he makes his point, if you don't have what was going on in that match ahead of time, and you don't have that same that comedy wrestling kind of there, that kind of proves Bryan Danielson's point.
That's a great point. That is a great point.
So I think that's why that makes sense. But originally that wasn't going to be the game plan.
Right. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. And the producer Joe, right? I agree. The match was better than expected. And so Danielson, after Mox wins this, cuts his promo. And what I thought was interesting, and the reason why I don't want to just skip over this, is Danielson got an interesting reaction, I thought. Some cheers, some boos. When he was attacking some people, they booed, but they seemed to generally love the idea of, yes, I want to get Garcia. I want to get Lee Moriarty. I want to get Yuta away from these guys that are jokes. And I want to make them wrestlers. And he even brings up the point that, hey, they don't like me, but they like what I'm saying. And he was so good at it. At the end of this, I really don't know what Mox is going to do.
So Bryan Danielson, from the time that he was the American Dragon in Ring of Honor, what's always made him a great heel is the fact that he states the obvious and states truth to you. He tells you the truth. He says, you're a bunch of fat asses eating red meat. You're not following a diet. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. He says the truth, but he has an ability to say it condescendingly.
Yes.
And to actually say it in a very heel way. He doesn't lie to you. He's not that heel that's coming out and lying to you and saying a lie, but like he believes it. He's telling you the truth. Everything he said in that promo is accurate. One of the tag team champions should not be dressed as a fucking dinosaur.
I will say, too. Now, I want to get to our theory on this, too, a little bit. And before we do that, I would like people to know and jog their memory. For anybody who watched the Cruiserweight Classic back in the day, Bryan Danielson did the commentary for that with Mauro Morano. Why am I breaking up? Mauro Morano. Mauro Inaro.
Wow.
So
I was like, Mama Leone?
Mamma mia. So Danielson and Mauro do the commentary. And one of the stories is Brian Kendrick in that tournament. And they play off the relationship he had with Danielson, how close they were. And they were. And then in real life, Danielson, they had stayed in each other's apartments and they helped each other out. Me and AJ wonder, obviously Kendrick's comments came back to bite him in the ass, but we wonder if he would have been a part of this and he would have actually had an interesting storyline. And I wonder now, too, if Danielson maybe got him the spot and helped him out here.
I think it was going to be. I think it was going to be Brian Kendrick was going to wrestle a hell of a match against Moxley. It was going to come down to Moxley obviously winning the match, but I think Bryan Danielson was going to come down afterwards and literally say, this is what wrestling is supposed to be. What you guys just did is what wrestling is supposed to be. I was going to come down here to attack you. I thought about fighting you. Instead, you need to join me and Brian Kendrick. And then he would have gone off in the same speech. Mm-hmm. That's, of course, Yuta would not have been in that speech.
Right. But I like Yuta. I mean, Yuta.
I like Yuta too.
I agree. But now I do want to say,
I don't care what Trent says. I like Yuta.
Let's talk about that. That promo was great, as producer Joe had said. But let's talk about a promo, and I know there was a line you like in it, but this did not make a lot of sense. We'll get to that.
No, the framing of the actual promo in the segment was atrocious. But please, I know where you're going.
Comes out and gets into a Dan Lambert. First off, Lambert's supposed to be the heel.
Brandy
healed immediately.
she literally came out and the first thing she did was call Chicago Cleveland. And then it's not like she made a mistake. It was purpose because she said same thing.
Yes. And I agree with Joe earlier. That would be a killer stable, like we talked about. But yeah, I want to talk more about that. But let's get to Brandy and Lambert because that's the thing we're talking about.
Yeah, but tell me her line was not fantastic when Ethan Page is smirking at her and she just looks at him and goes, I don't know why you're smirking. Everybody knows the only reson we brought you in was to get Josh Alexander.
Yeah, but I will tell you this, though. I heard a great one. I think it was on Post Wrestling. John Anik made the comment. Ethan sort of just looked at him and like, joke's on you. You've been paying me for a year. He's got a phone. He should
yeah, absolutely. That's yes, Joe, that producer Joe, that was a great line.
American Top Tits. I thought this overall, I thought Lambert had a great line. I am a white, conservative, sexist man who hates AEW, and these people would rather cheer me than you.
So I was working out yesterday with Patrick Saint, the professional wrestler, independent wrestler out of East Hartford, and I was working out with him yesterday. And for those of you who don't know, Patrick is a giant black man. He's about my size. And we both said the same thing. or like when you are a conservative white middle-aged guy and you can actually get and the girl is such a good heel that she can actually be the heel as a cute little black girl, you know you've done something. Yeah, you've done something incredible to get that heel heat.
I will say this. As much as this segment was a little jumbled and it didn't make sense at certain point, everybody was loud during it.
Yeah. The crowd loved it.
Right. Everybody was active. So both these characters have heat. I don't know who's going to get cheered.
It's not very often you get heel versus heel promos.
Cody would have got cheered here. Even though Cody's a heel, he would have got cheered, I think, over Lambert.
You can't even, well, the problem is you can't even bring Cody out during this because he makes no sense in the storyline.
No. So
that's and then later on, Dan Lambert's back out and still healing.
Right. Let's get to that.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to skip. But one thing that is interesting, though, this was the introduction of Paige Van Zandt. So she comes out and gets
she did get cheers.
Right. And that makes me think maybe that's why they're playing Brandy as a heel, because they know Paige is going to get cheered over her.
You've got this badass who has whooped ass everywhere she's gone in real life, and you're bringing her out to work with one of and I like Brandy Rose as I actually like her as a heel. We should clarify that right away. I do not like her as a wrestler. I think her skill set is abysmal. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but this is going to be one hell of a sloppy match. These two, they're going to have to just throw punches.
Yeah, unless Paige is some kind of prodigy. I was thinking the same thing. This is not going to go well.
And it is possible that she could be a prodigy.
Yeah.
Lord knows she's a prodigy when it comes to actual fighting. So
she's going to need her. She's going to need some working boots on here.
Yeah.
Now, the next match I had listed here, the Kings of Black Throne, King and Malachi Black versus Death Triangle. I'm going to tell you, as much as I love all the guys in this match, little disappointed. I thought we should have gained more time. I thought it should have been built up a little more. I thought it was built up, but I thought the match itself just kind of ended where I don't know why we would have another match after this.
Now I do have to give a little bit of credit in this, because while you might not have liked how discombobulated it was towards the end and the time, the way they set it up in the beginning with him being led to the ring with a blindfold.
I did love that.
That's and the setup to the match was fantastic.
Yeah, I love all the people in this match.
Absolutely. It just because of how short of a time they gave the match is why it became discombobulated. If they had given this match 15 minutes, I think that it would have been absolutely incredible. And I'm reading the comments before they come up, and I want to respond to that real quick. Producer Joe, 100%. I agree with you. They're a bruising tag team. I love them as a team. Brody King is absolutely amazing in there. He actually reminds me with his build and the way he works of Terry Gordy. I don't know if anybody else gets that, but he reminds me a lot of Terry Gordy. So yeah, he should be a super heavyweight.
Yeah, actually, you could almost say these guys are reminiscent of like a Bruiser Brody and maybe a Stan Hansen or a Gordy and a Williams. I know Black's not quite that build, but this definitely seems like a team that would like run right through you.
And you talk about people that can actually you believe that their kicks are punishing. To have those two guys kicking each other, having Black, and then obviously having why am I going blank? Sorry.
Brody King?
No. Who was he going against?
Penta, and you're talking about
Pac. Sorry, I keep wanting to call him by his WWE name. I know he's Pac most of the time, but it's one of those things it just gets jumbled up. But those kicks he throws are legitimately stiff-looking kicks also, and amazing kicks. So between the two of them, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, Pac's phenomenal. I think he's underrated. I mean, he's really good, but I think like his in-ring work, it never looks like his shit is soft. His stuff looks like he kills, and you never really hear about him hurting anybody either.
Pac is what, to me, when we talk about best workers in the world, I think Pac gets lost in the shuffle.
I agree. And it's because of the booking, I think. It's not that like he's just never booked as that main event guy. And I feel like
I think we also forget how big, when you see Malachi in there with these other guys, he is bigger than him. He's obviously not Brody King size, but he is a big dude. And when you see the athleticism that he shows is absolutely incredible. The moonsaults that he does, being able to it's just absolutely awesome.
Now, I got the next match I had written down was Nyla Rose and Ruby Soho. Now, this match was kind of a throwaway match for me, but I want to bring up something. Nyla Rose hits the power bomb off the ropes. Crowd goes nuts. I mean, like, is Ruby Soho losing some of her momentum?
I'm going to be honest with you. I heard rumors this week from multiple sources that Ruby Soho actually was a little upset watching the Royal Rumble, seeing the other two together and not being able to be there. And one of the reasons why is she doesn't feel like she's being used correctly in AEW. She feels like she's been kind of a throwaway where they haven't really used the momentum and given her the platform that she should be getting.
I felt like, though, I'll be honest with you too. As much as I do like Ruby, she in this match for whatever reason, she missed, and I know she was probably supposed to miss it, but it looked like she missed her kick by a mile. It didn't even look really close.
Here's another funny thing. Most people, when they wrestle Nyla, they have a tendency of laying it in more.
Right.
And it seemed like that didn't happen in this match. Like Ruby was holding back.
Go ahead.
No, I heard that we might have breaking news.
We'll wait and see on that one. All right, a couple other quick notes. Gun Club laid out Jungle Boy in the snow. We're setting up Gun Club versus the tag champs. I
actually like the Gun Club.
I think they're good heels.
They are. They're good heels. I mean, they're not a great working tag team yet. Billy's still the best worker in the team.
Yeah.
At 106.
I want Black and King to actually be challenging for the tag.
Oh, absolutely.
Or FTR. I think FTR is still the best team in the world.
So I do too, but I think they're actually good enough to be honest with you.
They don't need it.
I don't think they need it. Whereas I think that Malachi and freaking having Brody King having the belts on them, that's that monster team that can go up against anybody. They actually remind me, once again, talk about great teams. They remind me a little bit of that's who I was trying to think of before. Dick Slater and freaking
the Hardliners.
Yeah, like they remind me reminiscent of the style of the Hardliners, or even like Gordy and Williams.
Yeah, I was saying yeah. All right, one more thing before we get to the excellent main event here. Archer and Hangman Page. Lambert comes back out. Lambert's still good. Jake the Snake tries to talk. It comes off awkward. I like Jake. He's very hit or miss these days.
Yeah, he's very missed these days.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe
when was his last hit?
I'd have to go back. I definitely thought his first promo in AEW was fine, but I'd have to go back.
Pretty much his last hit. The one with Iron.
I was thinking actually the one with Cody, right in the very first time he came in. But
you know what I was just thinking? I was just thinking I really miss Randy Osgood. Where's our friend Randy Osgood?
Randy Osgood, baby. I miss him too. Nothing but love. Hey,
he can't be out working the farm in this rain. They got to give him a break, right?
It's gonna be ice at some point, Randy.
Oh,
but I thought Archer again, for what it was, they made him look like a big monster. He beat up Page.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this match, but at the end of the day, I'm excited in the sense I think it'll be a fun match. But
really,
I don't think it's gonna be.
Well, good. You're the one person. Congratulations, you've won excitement in this match.
I did a good job. I don't think.
I love both these wrestlers. I love both these wrestlers. I want to be excited about this match. I'm not even sure with the push that they've given this match that it's even going to be the main event on the card. It's probably going to be the opener, to be honest with you.
Now, you know what? Hangman Page is going over. He's going to win.
Yeah, he's going over. I would be absolutely shocked. I will literally fall out of my seat, maybe die of a heart attack if Archer wins this match.
Breaking news, heart attack, spoiler. Yeah. Hey, I'm leaving something out here, and I'm going to do it on purpose. I want to talk about the end. Okay, so MJF. You might have just
way to leave it out. Good job.
Yeah, MJF, CM Punk. Love this match. MJF doing the Harley race teeter-tottering spots, getting crotched outside.
That's great.
Everything was great. I personally, I don't know, maybe it was Way from Post 2 said, I love the original ending. Like when he choked him out.
I thought that was fantastic.
Oh,
They should have stopped it with that.
Me too. I thought that was excellent.
First of all, the crowd was absolutely shocked. The crowd didn't know how to respond.
Producer Joe's watching this match right now. You might not want to keep listening there because we're going to talk about it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that's on you. So,
Joe, spoiler alert. You're going to see a sleeper hold choke out. It's not the end.
But I will tell you, I love this match for a lot of reasons. One, I like actually the outs after this. I saw people on social media. I can't believe they beat him twice, and they were so pissed off. And I was just thinking, no, that's not what happened, asshole. So it's a TV show. Get over it. But I thought for that reason, you pissed off those people. Good job.
I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was great.
Once he came back, once Punk, they restarted the match.
They battled for another 20 minutes.
There was not a person in that audience who thought Punk was going to lose again.
It was fantastic.
That is how you tell a story. That is how you get this done. The point of wrestling is to surprise you people. If Punk went over, it was not going to be a surprise. Matter of fact, we like surprises so much, I'm still pissed off about the Royal Rumble, and I believe Shane should have been fired.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. But and not only like we talk about surprises, how well it was done in the story. MJF cheats, gets caught, they restart the match. Then Wardlow comes out. They play off the friction. JR great in this. He's like, "What? Yeah, but we don't know, And Warlord great. Warlord just kind of backs off. All right, leaving you guys, but then comes back. And the camera work great because you never saw originally where he actually slipped, the ring. Where you always see that in wrestling. They actually went out of their way not to show you this time. Perfect.
One of the best no look passes I've ever seen. I did not see the throw the first time. I had to actually look back and actually see the throw to actually see him throw the ring into him. I was like, where the hell did he get the ring from? Did he pull it out of his tights?
Right. No, it was excellent. And also one other thing, this was probably not meant to be, and they did try to not show this, but you caught it at the end. MJF, you could tell, he's got his head buried with Punk. He was legitimately, I think, overwhelmed.
Oh, he was thanking the shit out of Punk.
Yeah.
He was emotional. Huge. He was thanking the shit. Even when he came up, you could see how emotional he was in his eyes.
He was.
MJF plays an asshole, and I know he plays the asshole everywhere he goes. He does a great job with it. This is a kid who loves wrestling. You could dislike him. You're supposed to dislike him. He's a real heel. You're supposed to dislike him. But if you're going to dislike him and say he's not a wrestling fan, you're out of your fucking mind. This kid loves wrestling.
Student of the game. He would curse us out too. That's how good he is.
He would. He'd be pissed off that we're actually singing his praises. He'd be like, I don't need you two schmucks. Go buy some real shirts and do a real promo in the intro.
Okay. So awesome as this is, in my mind, we've built up MJF versus Hangman Page. Great. I love me some Adam Cole, but I heard some speculation that Adam Cole is playing off the fact that he technically has an undefeated record still. And I've never seen that before. No, that's fine. I get that. I actually think it's
Britt great. Baker literally did that last time. Yeah, with her lights out. Yeah.
It's great heel heat. I love it, and it's even great that he's ripping off his girlfriend. Even better.
Absolutely.
I love all that. But and I think it was Observer or somebody made this point too, and I disagree with it too. Unless we're going to go with a bigger story here, but I think. Isn't more the momentum now built with Hangman and MJF? Right? And I love me some Cole, but isn't this the way to really go, MJF and Hangman? I'm not saying we're not. We don't know. But where would you go in this situation? Would you go?
Well, it depends. I mean, are you talking about working to the pay-per-view?
The pay-per-view. The
actual if you're working to the pay-per-view, I think, to me, it's MJF. Right. Now, that being said, because he got cheated twice in the match, they might still be working MJF to Punk to the pay-per-view.
Do you expect how should I word this? Actually, would you think if Cole had won, and I know it's not, would you be just as excited about Cole versus Hangman Page though? Did it take some of the steam?
I have no problem with Cole versus Hangman Page.
Okay.
Cole versus Hangman Page can be a great match. You just have to build it right. It can be an absolutely great match. I honestly believe that that's what you're going to see. at the pay-per-view. I don't think you're going to see MJF versus Hangman at the pay-per-view. I think it's going to be MJF versus CM Punk again, playing off of what just happened and working to the pay-per-view and continuing to build that. And then I think Punk's going to get the win at the pay-per-view. And then, believe it or not, I think MJF's going to go after. Now, it could be Punk building. If Cole wins, it could be Punk building towards, if he wins that match, towards Cole, or MJF building towards the Cowboy at that point. But I don't think you're going to see MJF versus Cowboy at the pay-per-view.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I got no problem with that. I think that would be I think Cole's so good, and you're probably going to have a lot of other big things on this show that I got no problem with that. I am curious, when do we finally get Hangman and MJF, though? And I think that's what we want.
Oh, absolutely. But I think the longer you can hold that off, the more money you can make with it. Are you excited for Rampage? Rampage was built up very well this week. It looks like it's going to be a good show.
You got Starks versus Lethal. I'm actually looking up the card now. Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah, they've been building that one up.
That one, yeah. I got to believe Rosa goes over, and we got Rosa and Britt Baker finally at the pay-per-view. I expect Adam Cole to beat Evil Uno, and I expect Sammy Guevara, despite the problems at the Hardy office. Isaiah Cassidy's not going to come through.
No.
And I think somebody I heard bring this point up too. When you look at everybody pretty much going to WWE from AEW, I think everybody for the most part has done better in AEW. I'm going to throw one out to you right now, and I'm going to ask because I'm a little unsure.
Ruby Riott? No,
not her.
I'm kidding.
Andrade.
What are they doing with him?
I don't know.
The storyline is freaking. He's trying to get freaking
talk to Sting through Darby.
He's trying to recruit people for Matt Hardy.
I don't get it all.
No, they're doing horrible with Andrade.
Yeah. But in fairness, the WWE was doing horrible with him too. So yeah, really, it was this Triple H when he put him with Vega, where that thing finally clicked. And I would.
And then when it started to actually click, they got rid of him.
They sent him to the main roster.
Yeah.
All right. Great show by AEW. Rampage tonight. Looking forward to it. I think I'm looking forward most to Lethal and Starks, although Thunder Rosa and Martinez might tear it up. One last thing. We'll talk a little bit about Elimination Chamber coming up in Saudi Arabia. By the way, this match in Germany is known as No Escape. So I get a kick out of that. And Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory versus Riddle versus AJ Styles. I think this will be a good chamber match. My question to you is, do we get a title change?
No.
Okay. Bobby Lashley keeps the belt.
Yes.
And if we
I think Bobby Lashley's going to keep the belt, and I'm going to go against what people think. I believe Randy Orton is going to somehow get the match versus Bobby Lashley, not on a TV show. I think it's going to be Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania.
I could see that. I will say, though, looking at this, it is in doubt. I don't think it's like a lock that Bobby's going to win this. There is some doubt.
You got freaking Lesnar. You've got Riddle in there. You got all kinds of people that could.
I think Lesnar and Riddle are the two best possibilities. Riddle just because of the storyline potential where with Orton, Lesnar because they could do him in a unification match. It wouldn't be.
And obviously Rollins is in the match also. He's
Rollins another one, right? Yeah. Rollins.
I'm a little pissed. I love the interactions between Rollins and KO.
Yeah, I don't think
that's money.
As much as AJ Styles is probably the most talented man possibly in this match, and maybe even in the world, I don't think he's been portrayed as the guy that's going to win that belt right now.
Which, in fairness, by WWE logic, could actually get him the belt.
He could.
Watch out for Austin Theory.
That's the least likely candidate. I think they're good. I think they like him, but he's not winning the title here.
Yeah.
There was rumors that he might take on Shane McMahon this year. That's probably not happening.
That's probably not happening right now.
So,
I like Theory. Theory is a former Evolve champion. He has wrestled all around the world. He's an awesome athlete. They portray him as this young kid, but he's actually been working for a long time, and he's a hell of an athlete.
Final question: do we see? Do you think we see Shane McMahon again at some point?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, unless Vince sells it. And by the way, Vince isn't going to sell a company that they announced the earnings yesterday. They earned $1 billion last year.
He might sell it though.
Yeah, they earned $1 billion. Remember when he was excited because he became a billionaire? He earned $1 billion last year. Yeah.
He did good. The kid did all right.
Yeah, we keep knocking the product, and that's fair because the product has been horrible.
Right.
But for whatever reason, this horrible product that we knock is making more money than it ever has.
It's insane.
Yeah. So maybe we're the ones that are wrong.
I'm hoping that he's just building it up so he does sell it. I actually want him to sell at this point. I just rather someone else take it over.
I just don't see Vince letting it go. Remember, Vince's mom just passed away.
Oh, did she? I thought she was still alive.
No, she literally just passed away. There was an announcement this week that 106 or whatever the hell she is, she just passed away. So how long is Vince, who's been worried about his physical health and his conditioning for his whole life, how long is he going to last? Are we going to have 101-year-old Vince coming out? You're the future, Triple H's kids.
I don't know. I'm looking at this now right here. Vince McMahon mom.
I believe she literally just passed away this week.
They had referenced her this week. Oh, died January 20th, 22nd. So it wasn't this week, but she did die last week. Yeah. Wow. My goodness.
How old was she?
She was born in 1920.
So she was 102 or 101 going on 102.
Yeah. Wow. It was recently. Yeah. Well, guys, if that's the case, we better hope Vince sells.
Yeah, Vince might still have another 20 years to go.
Yeah. All right. On that note, I'm depressed.
we might die before Vince McMahon sells the WWE.
This is the Working Fans Podcast. We talk some wrestling. Have a great night, guys. See you later.